I mean, initially, that's exactly what I expected to happen. From day one, I think the goal is always to make the playoffs and to win, along with developing players and giving guys opportunities to showcase their abilities. And, I think that the way that we prepare and the way that our guys work, I'd put those guys up against anybody, regardless of on paper, what scouting reports show, who's on the 40-man, all these different things that you can look at a roster or look at on paper and see this team's better than that team. At the end of the day, who's the most prepared and who works the hardest and who takes care of business. And I think that, I'd put our club up against anybody in the country.
When did you get a sense that this group, the makeup of this group, had what it takes to be where they are now?
From day one. I mean, I think that, even in spring training without knowing the rosters, I think that just seeing the guys that the Giants bring on board and the type of players that we go after and that we have around in our clubhouse, and the coaching staffs, the coordinators, front office, all the people, have the same goal in mind. And I think that it shows at the big league level too, the type of players that we give opportunities to in the big leagues. They're not so much of the superstar type guys, but just the really good guys, competitors and things like that. So I think, I've said it in a few different interviews where, it really doesn't matter who comes here and who we send up to AAA. The next guy is going to be just as resilient and just as hardworking and just as good of a guy. But this club here in Richmond, I think, is really special because, we have the majority of the really good guys here that have the same goal in mind, and that's this. In all reality, I think all of them want to make it to the big leagues. I would assume, and I think that what would be even more special is that they do it at the same time. They all move together, and I think that we've moved several guys up to AAA now so far, and I don't foresee us stopping that anytime soon and continue to move guys. And by the end of this season, we may have a whole different ball club with the rest of the guys in AAA or even in the big leagues.
You mentioned to me yesterday the pressure of the last couple of weeks. You guys kind of position yourself for this. What maybe impressed you the most about the way they handled that pressure to have the success you guys have had this month?
Zero panic. I think that our guys continue to do things the way that they've done them since day one. There was no sense of nervousness, panic. They just worked. They worked and put themselves in positions to be successful. And I think that that's really what makes this team special. Is I don't have to really do anything during the games. I just watch. Really, I mean, it's fantastic to see. It doesn't matter if we're down 3 runs in the 6th inning or up 2 in the 9th. It doesn't matter. Like, everything is going to happen for a reason, and I think that when we talk about luck and we talk about things like that, I'm a big believer that we create our own luck. And I think that when these guys, if you guys got a chance to see, if the fans got a chance to see these guys show up at 4 o'clock every day or 3:30, or some of them are here at 1 o'clock getting themselves prepared for the game, and the amount of work that they're putting in. Again, I don't see any other ball clubs doing the things that we're doing outside of the game, and it's paying off. So I think that that's a real big key factor.
On the field, hitting wise, you got a lot of power in the lineup. Pitching wise, particularly the last couple of weeks, you pitched really, really well, both starters and relievers. What do you consider maybe the biggest on-field keys to you guys playing in this position?
I think obviously, the power is great, the strikeouts are great, but I think what's not talked about enough is how dynamic our players are. We have several guys that play multiple positions. We have guys that are playing some roles and maybe that they're not, used to playing in their careers, and they're doing a fantastic job in those things. But being dynamic and being able to do some of the small things, for example, yesterday, Brett Auerbach, trying to bunt for a hit there late in the game with 2 runners on, and it ended up being a sacrifice bunt. Those are the things, like, it's not something that I told him to do. It's something that, he chose to do on his own because of being dynamic, and I think that, you see Tostada hitting with 2 strikes, still hitting home runs and doubles and doing these things that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the count is. It doesn't matter what happens. They're using their athletic abilities, and again, I think the word that I really like to use is dynamic.
I think you told our writer Joe Dawson at the beginning of the series that winning a first half title will allow you to focus even more on developing the second half. Like, what does that look like, you think, now you have this clinch?
It doesn't change. I think that we're going to continue doing the same things we've been doing, and I think if anything, it's going to free up the players a little bit to just have a little more fun. I think we've had a pretty good time so far, and I think that I think it's going to continue to happen. And but nothing changes from our day to day and what we're going to try to accomplish. We're still going to try to get better, and the goal is still to get these guys to the big leagues or prepare them to be in the big leagues, to be a long time big leaguer, not just a guy that gets a big league debut and then he's no longer playing baseball. So I think all of our guys understand that, and they understand the responsibility they have for their own careers, and how important the staff here and in the front office and everybody, how important their careers are to us too.
Looking at September, you talked also yesterday about like winning is something that like you develop as well, like building winners, building a winning culture. Like, what would be the value of these guys getting some postseason games as well, and sometimes playing in that environment with something on the line?
I firmly believe that if we're doing it now, and we're able to find a way to win and find a way to put ourselves in a position to win a championship, they're going to do that, in October in the big leagues, playing the Yankees or whoever it may be. It doesn't matter. The opponent doesn't really matter, and they may not even be with the Giants at that time. But I think from an individual standpoint, learning how to win is not trying to be the best player you can be, but it's helping the guy next to you become the best player he can be. And I think that you'll find no one in the country that does it better than our guys here, helping each other out and supporting each other. So I think that's really special.
I appreciate it.
Anybody else? Thank you.